exciting for those of you guys who are fans. So, Ryan Reynolds teases he says unfortunate meeting with Marvel Studios in a funny social media post. Now, this is coming from Collider. It says here, following Disney's acquisition of 20th Century Fox, Marvel Studios has yet to announce exactly how fan-favorite character Deadpool will fit into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but plans may well be underway. Ryan Reynolds took to social media today to share that he visited Marvel Studios, adding a traditionally quippy caption. And he says here, I'm going to go ahead and jump to the full post. It says, audition for the role of Anthony Stark, meaning Tony Stark, which is Iron Man. Didn't come even remotely close, but the nice man with the taser escorted me to the ground, which is a nice way of saying he tased me and I fell down, which is funny. But the point of this is that Ryan Reynolds visited Marvel Studios. So he visited Marvel Studios. Now, what is he doing visiting Marvel Studios? This is where the speculation comes in. Marvel Studios, of course, is where all of the magic is made. This is where all of the stuff is going down, and we know that lots and lots of meetings happen there every single day. Now, who else works there but Kevin Feige? Kevin Feige works there. Kevin Feige would be the person you would want to see if you were there, and he's probably someone that Ryan has met and worked with a few times already, probably maybe for some consulting. Maybe Kevin, as a fan, has come and just been like, hey, hey, Ryan, love the movies. Because we've heard him say those things in interviews as well. And we've heard him talk about having Deadpool in the MCU and how that might possibly work out, even though the answers have always been somewhat vague and somewhat, I guess, inquisitive, where he's sort of speculating about what might be able to happen, what could happen, and just firing off ideas without giving answers. This, to me, shows that Kevin Feige is already working out those details as we speak. So, Ryan Reynolds visited Marvel Studios, and I find it highly unlikely, personally, that he didn't meet with Kevin Feige. I believe he did. I believe he had that meeting. Whether or not they came to any answers, whether or not it's a yes or a no, we don't quite know yet, but that must have been a topic of discussion. There is no way Ryan Reynolds walks in the doors of Marvel Studios and they're not talking to him about, dude, what if we can do this? What if the rated R movies are standing on their own, but we have Deadpool cameo in like every movie, just like the Hulk does, and it's PG-13 in those settings? What about that? Like that type of stuff. Because they're already talking about Blade, right? They're talking about Blade being a rated R film, possibly. Fans are speculating because of the nature of Blade and how violent and vicious he is, and how traditionally bloody it is as well. That would be very difficult to make PG-13, although I do believe that you can do PG-13 Blade 100%, and it can be legit, and everyone's going to love it, be the best thing we've ever seen, including the Wesley Snipes take. I do believe that is 100% possible. Now, the thing that I find hard to believe is that with Ryan Reynolds visiting the set, that they didn't have some sort of meeting already discussing the MCU possibilities for Deadpool. Because one thing I wanted to note before we close out this topic is that we already know that there was the whole Ghost Rider incident, right? So Hulu 3 months ago or something announced that 4 months ago, announced that Ghost Rider would be coming to Hulu along with Hellstrom. And recently they announced that, it's been canned. They canceled it, they backed out, and they're not going to do the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider on Hulu separate from the MCU. I believe they did that because they're going to try to make everything that has happened for Marvel canon. I believe they're going to try to make everything that has happened recently in the last 10 years almost canon. They're going to try, I believe. Similar to kind of what Crisis is doing. They're acknowledging all these things, even with the flaws and the issues and all that stuff. They're acknowledging all of it. I think that Marvel is going to try to do something similar. We know that they've already shoehorned the Runaways into this continuity. They're doing Cloak and Dagger into the same thing. They're already talking about getting all of them into the MCU, and they're talking about they had plans to do a darker adult version of the Marvel content in Hulu, but I believe the only ones that are going to stick there are the animated ones. I think they will eventually pull Hellstrom off of Hulu, and we're going to see live action Ghost Rider, probably Johnny Blaze, not Robbie Reyes. I liked Robbie Reyes, but if they're going to change that up, I think they're probably going back to Johnny Blaze, and they'll do either some like Dark Avengers type stuff or what have you in the MCU or on Disney Plus in the MCU in that capacity. So those are my thoughts, and that's probably what's going to happen with the MCU, or I'm sorry, the X-Men in the MCU as well. I would hope that they get some shows started. I think that TV shows will be the way to go, but I think that will have to be something that can jump back and forth from film to TV, depending on which characters you're focusing on and depending on how many films you want to be able to make, or do you want to make those types of films or make a show for the same amount of money and more time. That's just things that they need to work out, and I think that will play directly into what they do with Deadpool ongoing. That is my final thought for that topic. I want you guys to tell me what you think about this down in the comments below. And finally, I wanted to take your guys' comments. So there is a couple of comments here that I want to go ahead and read from you guys. So let me go ahead and see if I can switch this screen. Sorry about the delays, guys. Okay,